Okay, the 25th of February, Tuesday, 2020. Back out in the woods again. Gonna do a bit of a lens test. We're gonna go onto the bridge, fire up the new lens for the DSLR. And it's in a Canon EF mount, which is handy because it will now also go on the EOS M. So I'm up to 5 lenses, but I think you'll agree there's probably a very good reason to have this lens that I got the other day for an absolute bargain. So yeah, I haven't shot any footage with this lens. I haven't really even taken any photographs with it as yet, because it's a long range lens and really you can't take any images with it indoors. It's very much for the outdoors type thing. So so far I've got the 18 to 55mm kit lens. It's very plasticky, designed to give you a little bit of zoom and a little bit of autofocus for your camera. You know, it's the first lens. It's called a kit lens because it normally comes in a kit. I've got the 50mm lens. I've got a teleconverter. Well, it's not a teleconverter. A macro fisheye adapter, and a nondescript manual zoom lens, which is all manual. I think it's a Praktica lens, which I bought ages and ages ago before I knew what I was doing, or even knew a little bit of what I was doing. And now the Sigma 70 to 300 zoom lens with macro, the DG model, and that, when you put it on a micro 4/3 camera like the EOS M or the T3i, you can multiply that by 1.6, so you get more or less a 500mm lens, which is pretty cool. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set it up on the bridge, hopefully. Or maybe not. Maybe down by the river. So yeah. Right, so this is the T3i with the new Sigma lens. It is, it's got a hell of a zoom on it. It's like the lens at full extension. And as I say, it's the equivalent of about a 500mm lens on a 3/4 sensor. A micro 4/3 or whatever. On the T3i with the Boya microphone. And on a super cheap Velbon EF51 tripod that I got for 20 quid. Yeah. So I thought for 35 quid this second-hand lens was worth a punt. It's got autofocus, but the autofocus is horrible. So it's probably going to be manual focus. And it's got a macro mode. You have to be about, I don't know, what, 3 feet? So yeah, hell of a zoom. So let's see what sort of footage I can get with it. Back in a bit. Okay, so I'm going to assume this is in focus. Apologies if it's not. It's really hard to tell today on this screen. But the autofocus says it's in focus. So this is at 70mm, just down by the river. Audio by the Bolin MM1. And I'm just going to slowly zoom in until I can get all the way. Oh, you have to excuse that. So that's fully zoomed in. So that rock is taking up half the screen when it's about, I don't know, 25 yards away. Let's come back out, see if I can get a smooth zoom, but probably not. Let's try that again. Head does not want to lock. Okay, let's try that again. It's a very squishy tripod. I wouldn't want to do any focus pulling on this. That's a bit smoother. I'll try it one more time. Well, that wasn't too bad. It looks to be in focus on this end. There's not much depth of field because we're out to like an infinite level of focus, so everything should be in focus as it's coming in. I'm going to try a pan shot with the Velbon microphone. I mean, obviously you wouldn't, the Velbon tripod, obviously you wouldn't do this with a cheap and nasty tripod, but it was lightweight and it was cheap. Obviously at full zoom. So everything should still be in focus, hopefully. Now if we pull back, there we go. This is kind of human eyeball type stuff. That lump of rock in the centre foreground, about 15 yards away. Blow that right up. Yep. Cheap and nasty tripod. Okay, so that's zoomed in on a little tiny leaf. Not sure I can get any closer than that. Trouble, it's a problem finding anything interesting to shoot. Didn't think of that. So that looks to be in focus. So yeah, you know, you get a heck of a zoom. Can I get any closer than that? Yeah, so I mean, if you've got to be close up to a subject, then you know, it's like a 500mm zoom in effect. So it's like, you know, something like 100 to 500. So it's not going to be any good for portrait photography of any kind. It's just going to be, you know, what it is. You know, it's a long range lens, could be handy, could make some shots possible for the future. So I hope you've liked the very brief overview. I'll do a proper review, and once I've used it a bit, I'll be able to, you know, really give a review rather than, I just bought this yesterday. So yeah, so we'll carry on. 3 years. Should be good. So yeah, hope you enjoyed that. Let's go for a little bit of a wander now. Let's do that. Do that thing. Okay, so you might be wondering why I've been spending money and time acquiring new bits of filming equipment, and there's a good reason. It's because I want the next project, you know, like you do, to be better. I think I've got all the computer tech and the... Oh, that does not look right. Yeah. So I think I've got all the computer tech that I want. And I think I've got all the tools that I want. And now I think I've got... there's a few things I'd like. But yeah, I don't think I really need a whole lot more video equipment. So yeah, because I want to make, the new series of videos very cinematic. I want it to be TV that you're not thinking about how it was done particularly. So yeah. That's the thing. So, a little bit more on, Project Culture or The Culture. I want something that will, fill in the space, left, the huge hole left by Rant Media. And believe me, I would be happy. If Sean Kennedy wanted to come back and do it, fine. I'd probably still do The Culture, but I wouldn't feel like I was stepping up as much to take a weight off. So I'm hoping that the Rant community embrace it, because I want to see, you guys do stuff, or you people do stuff. I want videos. I want, this is how, somebody do a video on patchwork or knitting or sewing in general. Digital Whiskies kindly sent me a chunk of footage for using a very old-fashioned sort of 100-year-old Singer sewing machine, which, they're a handy thing to have. I'll be doing some basic, very basic cinematography stuff, if that's going to help. But yeah, I want to, in the meantime, if we can't achieve the big dream of Project The Culture, as in we physically step away from, the astonishing level of competence of modern society, like it really is breathtaking, and, become, kind of supra-economic, and supra-government. Not the kind of you can't avoid them forever, so it's not. I don't want it anywhere to turn into another Waco, but it's just like, imagine if it was just taken care of. You can imagine almost a country within a country, like the Vatican City. Still trade with the outside world, get what you need, trade back for stuff that we can make and do. But otherwise, just not rely on, governmental security, not rely on governmental education, just step away. And we could do it. What was I watching the other night? I was reading something and somebody was talking. No, it was on YouTube, and somebody was talking about Sigma males, ironically, given that the lens that we just reviewed was made by a company called Sigma. The shaman class, the artists, the builders, the inventors, all the people that think outside the box. I refuse to believe that there aren't millions upon millions of them worldwide. I refuse to believe that it's a cultural or a gender phenomena. Especially when you consider, the MGTOW crowd keeps saying that women have never invented anything. I think you need to look up Hedy Lamarr on Wikipedia. Marie Curie. It's bullshit. Lady Ada from Adafruit. Yeah? So we've got people doing stuff all over. There's Ada Byron. If we're going to get technical. If you're honest with yourself, you know that, the colour of someone's skin or their dangly bits or their interior plumbing do not denote whether they are of shaman class. That's just bullshit. So, let's do a brain drain. If you're watching this, someone that can tinker with and put stuff together. Those are the people we need. We need the hackers. So we need them. But there needs to be a place for them to go. There needs to be a psychological place to go, and there needs to be a physical place to go eventually. So that's why I'm so hot on numbers. That's why I'm trying to make it cinematic for the culture, trying to make it look good, make it look watchable, all that kind of good stuff. Hence buying some new gear, to make that happen. So yeah, let's make an industry of it. I mean, who's not going to watch, like a reality show, but a proper reality show about a bunch of people living on a massive island? That's one source of future income and a reason you might want to invest in it. If we could get 1 million subscribers to the culture, not only does it sound cool, it does sound cool. The culture. These would be people producing their own media, their own news, their own, just generally their own stuff. The means of production. Seize them and, let's just bugger off somewhere relatively safe where we can, control the environment a bit better. And that means islands, that means buying up districts of, Detroit, New Orleans. I bet there's been a sharp fall in property prices in Australia since the bushfires, and we're primed. You're seriously telling me we can't put our hands in our pockets and go, right, there's a tenner, $10. 1 million people just go, nope. And fair enough, those 1 million people are not going to be able to visit every site, all at once. But I definitely pay a tenner to know that there were 3 or 4 sites worldwide where people are going, nope, and agreed to live, in relative peace with one another and be able to look at the world in the way that it's more resource rich than we need this kind of people that go, yes, we need X, Y, and Z, but we can make most of it. Wouldn't you watch, the daily roundup of wild and crazy shit happening at culture, Earth ships all over the place? This comes back to Star Trek. It comes back to the concept of the Fremen or the Bene Gesserit. We would be the Missionaria Protectiva by putting together this media channel to make it possible. 1 million subscribers, those 1 million subscribers happy to put in $10 as an initial start-up fee. It falls over, your name's on, the virtual wall that we'll build of people that thought it was a good idea to at least try to live more ecologically, to generate as much power as we could on our own, to try out things like desalinators, to maybe even one day, if you imagine going to the People's Republic of China and saying, we'd like a corner of it to commission a thorium reactor, a thorium salt reactor. We could be the people that make that happen. We could be the people that eventually end up making the fully online university. Yeah? How much would that cost? Imagine your next degree comes from Culture University. We could do that. We could be Starfleet. We could be the Fremen. We could be Ian M. Banks's culture, which we're kind of robbing the idea of. We could be the people that help bring a sensible AI into the world. We could be the first point of alien contact. We could be the first place that very much smarter humans are drawn to. But at the moment, if you were a much smarter human with an IQ in excess of 160 and able to do all kinds of cool shit, more or less a Kiza Sadalak, yeah? And there was such a place as the culture, wouldn't that be where you would head? If you knew that on every continent there was at least one culture home base. And we could have it if we can push out the information. We could push out our, just YouTube, let alone Twitter, let alone Patreon, let alone, Instagram, Snapchat, all that other all that other social media, and whatever becomes later of YouTube or the like, or any place to upload videos, or the archive.org, or Wikipedia even. Wouldn't it be cool if the culture gets officially recognised as a secondary safe data haven for Wikipedia articles, or a place where whistleblowers publish their stuff, a backup for archive.org that's decentralised and has many copies, you know, free office space for representatives of the EFF, you know, all those good things we could do for nuppence, like no money, because we would have the infrastructure. You know, Elon Musk has already proved that you can launch private satellite webs. How much is it going to cost us to get like really good internet from Elon Musk? Nothing, virtually. Also, Mr. Musk, if you are watching and you have a spare 10 million quid, I believe we could do some interesting stuff. But yeah, you know. So I don't even know how to reach 1 million people. But we all know 10 people. You know. So we just need the first 100,000. If you knew there were people trying to do good in the world and basically represent humanity in the best possible way, which we don't have. We haven't got it. Name someone. Name a group that aliens would want to visit. You think they want to turn up on the White House lawn? Of course they don't. You know, none of the smarter than us possibilities, you know, better, you know, smarter humans, extraterrestrial life, AI, or even a deity is going to want to turn up anywhere where, you know, a group of people don't have higher hopes for humanity. So yeah. And that's how it be. It's complex, but like the Pacific Islanders say, the best time to plant a tree is 20 years ago. The second best time to plant a tree is now. So yeah, I hope that anybody watching this is thinking, yeah, this culture shit sounds good. And, you know, for instance, please pass on the information. You can do more. You can be one of the people that literally starts Starfleet on Earth, you know, or like a version of Scientology that doesn't have any like crazy stories attached to it and doesn't try and prosecute people, but like an actually good bunch of people that would be able to, you know, stockpile information and, you know, get it out to people. Maybe even, you know, just have their own sets of servers that people would log on to really fast. You know, who knows what personal technology is going to come along in the next 10 years. Speaking of which, I mean, the culture we're going to be trying to build you an all services web server as a deliverable and show you exactly how to do it using Freedom Box and like 20 quid's worth of computer power. You know, your own hosting system, your own email system, your own security, your own wiki, you know, all that kind of good stuff without any other hosting anywhere else. You know, we're trying to bring you the cool stuff. I'll be trying to bring you how to make media, how to do sound recording, how to do various stuff, what kit you can get for nothing, you know, how to save a bit of money, that sort of thing. You know, other people would be bringing you, you know, hopefully things like, this is how to program in Python. This is how Python works in English, not in a manual. You know, this is how to build, you know, this is how to service a car. This is how to build an engine. You know, this is how to strip down something useful. Here is how to grow plants. Here is how to generate electricity. That kind of shit. So even if we don't get there, but I'm hoping we will, I mean, primary goal is we have an option. You know, we have somewhere else to live, apart from planet Earth with the Society of the Spectacle. Because it is, you know, you can get sucked into it. I do, on a daily basis. Get dragged into it and get lost and waste time. We could be doing so much more. So on that note, on that positive up note, I'm going to end it there. Thank you for your patience in watching the video. And do take care. And where am I going? Who's coming with me? Never get the order of those questions messed up. Later, peeps.